Hey Norm, thanks for joining today, and I'm excited to have you walk through the SEO Forecast Tool, which we've built in our platform called Zissou. And I wanted you to kind of walk through it here for everyone because recently we've been talking about it a lot on calls. There was a thread on LinkedIn the other day as well about what do people do for SEO forecasting, and I wound up sharing it there. And I thought maybe people would benefit from seeing a little bit more of what they can expect, especially because I know you'll get into this. We've opened it up to the public. So now people can go ahead for free, start to use this tool, and maybe give us some feedback. So, anyways,
Sure.
yeah, maybe you could walk us through it and then give me some context on like how to use it and what we're looking at.
Yeah, I love nothing more, and thank you so much for having me on this show. I'm really looking forward to showing off the tool as it is today, but more importantly, also maybe get the audience engaged in thinking about what it can be, because this is really, let's call it version 1.0. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. Okay, great. I like that you called this a show, by the way. It makes me feel like I got an audience here watching. Maybe I do.
Maybe a show of five, but we'll grow that audience.
Yeah, it'll grow. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can you share your screen and then maybe kick off with, I guess, like how someone can use this and maybe give us, I know you've prepped a little bit of a use case here too, right?
I did. But as the saying goes, always start with the why. So let me go into a little bit as to the why we turn forecasting into a tool in the first place. And the why is, I don't have to explain the why behind forecasting and the importance of that, especially as it relates to SEO. We always want to make a strong business case. Because if we do, the likelihood of our recommendations that they get implemented increases.
Right.
So a few years ago, we've been running a lot of forecasts. The challenge we ran into is that it bogged down the analytics team because we always had to get them engaged because they were uh, the group that had built out the models. Um, and it was very sophisticated. However, in the world of limited resources, it was always a challenge to have them run the forecast at the time that we needed them at. So we said, hey, because we're doing this so often, let's find a way to basically democratize the use of forecasting. So, can we turn the sophisticated models that the analytics team had into a tool that anyone, even if you don't have experience in sophisticated analytics, the ability to run your own forecast, or even heck, we even wanted to get it to a point where even if you don't have much experience in SEO, you could run your own forecast. And what I'm going to be showing here today is kind of the first attempt at that. And it comes in the form of a web application. So like any other web application, you would go to login page. And this is the one I'm showing here today. And you sign on with your user credentials. It's a single sign-on, so you don't need to use your company email. You can just use whatever you want to use, like Google. But you sign on, and you'll see a bunch of different features here. But the one that we really want to focus on is the SEO forecasting feature.
And we're going to provide a link in the description for everyone to be able to create their own free account, correct? Yeah.
That's absolutely right. And it's not only a free account, it's free forecasting. So everything that we're going to be showing here today will be available to anyone for free. Main reason is, we want to really put this tool in the hands of practitioners so that the industry as a whole can benefit from greater adoption of SEO tactics.
Right.
But
And you even said,
yeah,
sorry, too, that non-SEO practitioners will find this useful because in the past, like you mentioned, the analytics team having to be tapped was due to them needing a business case. And so part of this
yeah.
output is that you can build a business case with the forecast tool too.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we'll go into kind of the KPIs of this forecast in a moment, but we wanted to find a way that it not only forecast SEO KPIs such as traffic or ranking improvements, but also um, financial KPIs such as revenue, the number of conversions, or ultimately return on investment. So those are the key KPIs this tool forecast. But let me get straight into it and what you need in order to generate one of those forecasts. And we hope it's fairly straightforward because the only thing you really need is data, and data in the form of a keyword. And the keyword needs to be paired with the monthly search volume that you can get out of many of the tools that are available to the public already today. But also the respective rankings, because the rankings is what the tool uses to model off the improvements over time. And then based on that and various click-through rates and conversion rates, we'll turn that into financial KPI forecasts. But to load those keywords in, all you have to do, and I'm sure you're familiar with that flow from many other tools, you download a template. I'm not going to do it here today because I kind of prepped this already. And once you get here, you can select from even previously run forecasts, but let's say you never created any of them. All you do is you click on New SEO Forecast. You go here, you name your forecast, and you click here to upload the number of keywords, the keyword file that you want to use. In this case, it's this one. I'll import those, and you'll see what happens. Oh, I need to give this thing a name. So this keyword list is on a really cool website out there in the market today called The Dirt, if you want to check it out. But so I named the file, and now I'm importing the keywords. While this is happening, and just so you have an idea, this is roughly 130,000 keywords, so it's quite a bit. But while this is uploading, you can see some of the other parameters you need to set. You need to set the monthly investment, for example, for that initiative. But you also need to show what your current conversion rate is. So this is the average conversion rate that you might have for on your website today. This can either be a conversion rate for a lead submission or a hotel booking. You'll enter it here. You can enter your revenue per conversion, so it's your average basket size, so to say. And once it uploaded all the keywords, it'll also give you the total traffic opportunity for that set of keywords that you're uploading. Let me touch on that a little bit, because I think what SEOs oftentimes confuse with the total traffic opportunity is not the aggregate of the search volume, but basically the maximum number of traffic you can generate if you are in position one, which if you are in SEO, you know, it's not always 100%. In fact, it's a very small fraction of,
we wish that was
the
the
total
fact,
search volume. We wish that would be the fact, but the fact is, here is where we set the real expectation right off the bat, which is we're showing the real traffic opportunity, not the presumed traffic opportunity.
And can you explain real quick? So you mentioned leads versus like an e-commerce conversion, right? So the conversion rate, oftentimes when I've walked people through this tool, is, you know, they'll ask me, is this the conversion rate if they're a lead generation, right? Before I hand off to sales, is it the MQL basically? Or am I trying to give you the conversion rate after sales has qualified the lead and converted them, right? And my answer usually is whatever use case you're trying to get out of the tool. So if you assign a value to a lead and you're just trying to say, how many leads can I generate from organic search? Then you would take that first conversion rate, basically from traffic to now they are a lead, and give the lead an average order value or give it to a value per lead, right? Same thing goes for e-commerce though. If it's more straightforward, I need someone to actually check out. I want them to convert. That would be your conversion rate with an average order value to forecast, correct? So it can be used for
Correct.
different purposes and different stages of the funnel. And I've seen the SEO forecast, for example, even used for, how often someone is actually adding to cart. Someone just wanted to know basically how many people can I get into the first step of the funnel from traffic. So it can be used for both of
Correct.
those purposes.
That's correct. And just to be clear, just because you are entering a conversion rate here on this first initial screen doesn't mean you can model it out under different parameters once the forecast is done. I'll show it in a second. It's fairly straightforward. So it's not a set and forget. You can always adjust.
And then as it's loading here, because I know you uploaded 130,000 keywords, which is a lot. I know you can pull those from different places and third-party tools, right? Or you could even go straight into Search Console if you wanted to pull only your own queries or something like that if you
Sure.
had access, right? But what to you, like what's one of the first things you do when you're coming up with your keyword list or universe, should I say? Are you going to touch on that?
So I'm not sure I understand the question. Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, so basically, do you want to have keyword research and basically say, here's all the keywords my competitors are ranking for that maybe the Dirt doesn't rank for, in addition to the ones the Dirt ranks for? So basically, you would have a lot of keywords where there is maybe no rank, and then some where there is. Would that be basically both in what you would want to upload into this list?
It depends on the use case. Again, I was hoping I could avoid the "it depends" answer. But it depends a little bit on the use case as to what you're looking to accomplish. Are you looking to make a business case for building a net new page type on your website? Then that might dictate what kind of type of keywords you're using. Or is it you already have an existing page type that you feel like it ought to be generating a lot more traffic, but you don't know how much. Right. So it always depends a little bit on the use case and the stage your SEO campaign is in. Is it very evolved? Is it very mature? Is it very much at the onset of a campaign? It depends.
Yeah, it's a good explanation.
Yeah. So, but back to the tool now, and again, it took a little bit longer because it was a robust set of keywords, 130,000 keywords in maximum, and there's not really a limit on the number of keywords you can upload. You can upload 10, or you can upload 1 million. Again, it depends a little bit on the use case. But you'll see here, and that's what I was referring to a moment ago, the total traffic opportunity for that set of keywords is just south of 10 million monthly searches, which is a lot. But what we really want to understand, how much are they capturing today, and how long would it take to capture that totality? So let's run that forecast and see what it tells us. Oh, and so yes, uploading the keyword took a while, but actually producing the forecast, that's where really the power of the cloud comes in. And we don't have to rely on local processing powers of your laptop to do this math, because a lot of math went into what just happened. So first thing you'll see right off the bat is are the parameters that we were talking about a moment ago. And as you can see, it's fairly easy to update them here. So if you feel like, hey, maybe my conversion rate is a little bit too aggressive with 3.63, I want to adjust it, you could do it in real time. In real time, all the numbers will update as well. Another thing to point out is that you can also select the time horizon you want to play with. By default, it's a 12-month time horizon, but as you can see, you can forecast up to 24 months, but also as little as 3 months. We always start with keyword distribution. You can see how the rankings are changing over time, and the categories, kind of the segments that we classified, are any keyword that's between position 1 and 3, 4 to 10, 11 to 20, or 20 plus. And another thing to point out is that we have 3 different types of scenarios. Right now, we call a conservative, a moderate forecast, and an aggressive forecast. Another way you could describe this is worst case, most likely case, and best case scenario. Best case scenario is if you basically get all the resources you need in order to implement your strategies,
Right.
which we all know as SEOs rarely happens. But to account for that, we said, let's create 3 different tiers, so to say, even in the worst case scenario, this is what ranking improvements might look like. And you can play around here with the visuals if you, let's say, only want to focus on your on the keywords that are improving over time in position 1 through 3. You can only show those. You can turn off different scenarios. If you feel like it's too distracting, you can always turn it back on. But these are some of the moments where I want to pause and say, if you're watching this, we want to hear from you on how we maybe want to redesign those interfaces so it becomes even more intuitive.
Right.
So if you have ideas, let us know.
Yeah.
But I also talked about the different KPIs, and you can click through these KPIs here. These are various tabs that drive into then the various KPIs. You have traffic, you have the number of conversions, the revenue that's driven off of these conversions, and the return on investment. And here we have various ways to visualize that. We show the aggregate traffic numbers over the course of 12 months. We have it in intervals of 3 months, how much you're capturing if in fact you're rolling out the tactics course, how much you're capturing there. And you can see here, even under the most aggressive scenario, after a 12-month period, you still only captured about 73% of the total opportunity, meaning that we could probably extend the time horizon and see before you need to come up with a new set of keywords before you're basically running out of growth. And you see it here. Starting in month 15, that's when you reach the point of diminishing return on that list of keywords. That's the moment that tells you, oh, maybe I need to expand my keyword horizon, so to say, because you basically squeezed all the value out of it. But that's a very aggressive goal, and it's also a very big keyword list.
One thing too, if you click back on the traffic tab, that I always love to compare this to is hurricane forecast, where it's like, it could go this way, it could turn right, but somewhere in between this cone of uncertainty is where we think the best guess is of where the hurricane's going to go. And I think the same way with these 3 scenarios, like you mentioned, the most likely might be another name for moderate, right? It's probably somewhere in this cone of uncertainty, which is why as you go further out in time, you see the bigger dispersion between the 3 scenarios, right? Because at that point, you're getting closer into uncertainty of continued improvement in all things being equal, because it is a forecast after all, right? So it's more of a isolating the noise, trying to figure out where this will eventually get you should you come up with a strategy that's going to go after the set of keywords you've uploaded.
Yeah, that's correct. What else can we talk about? The conversion rates, the number of conversions. It all follows the same UI, but again, what I find useful is that it satisfies both the practitioner needs in terms of keyword distribution and traffic improvements, but also to build that business case. The folks we need to position this to, they care about the financial impact, and we're modeling that out here with this tool as well.
Right. And the other thing, so if you're going to deliver this to a stakeholder, someone might be wondering if they can export this, screenshot this, etc. And I know that we've now built in the export functionality with the hamburger menu icon there in the chart. So someone can actually
Yeah.
go ahead and deliver this into a report if they have to make a business case.
That's absolutely the case. So I know we're taking a lot of noise out here, not showing each individual keyword. Um, that would make the interface too noisy. But yeah, if you want to see the actual data behind each of those months, you can download it as in your standard formats, CSV or Excel, or yeah, if you
Right.
just want to incorporate it into a PowerPoint, yeah, you can download the image in whatever format you want.
Right. And the ROI being the last one too, it's you forecast what your monthly investment is, right? So if we were going to work with a client and we often use this tool in the beginning, we would kind of be able to say, here's the monthly investment with Pacific, right? Which we see here at the top. But for your own purposes, that could be basically what budget you think you have to work with monthly and what you can dedicate towards a project like this, right? So then you're making the
Yeah,
business case and basically saying, hey, we're going to hit 6x ROI by month 12 or 18, right? If we invest in this now, which is a really important
that's
feature, I think, of the forecast tool.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and like I said, you can it's a slider navigation. You can
Yeah,
either and you see how quickly it just recalculated the numbers.
right.
Um, I mean, you can enter a specific number, but to bring a little bit better UI into it, you can use slider navigation and play around with um, different scenarios.
Nice. Was there anything else we haven't covered in the tool before we tell people where they can start finding this?
No, I think this is it. This is where we are today. But my call to the industry is help us turn this into a tool that not only you feel comfortable with, but gives you the insights you need to make the business case for SEO.
Yeah. We would love to hear those feature requests or things that you find that you think could be helpful, or maybe you've seen other places that we would love to be included in somewhere, someone like this. So
Yeah,
thank you, Norm.
and
This is, oh, go ahead.
just one last note here on how to provide that feedback. Of course, you can always drop us a line, but we also build into the tool itself a little feedback form where you can submit
Yep.
your ideas and recommendation directly in the tool, and get straight to the engineering team and the SEOs here at Pacific to add those to the product roadmap.
Yeah, that's a great point. And we will. We're pretty fast at making changes if we need to. All right. Well, thank you. We're going to leave a link below for where people can go sign up for this. We're actually seeing a few people already start to use it, which is really exciting. So I appreciate the time today.
Thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.